own mistakes.
We gotta make it. We have been making our own
So when
mistakes.
you're a child, you do things.
There you go. Here, come on, scoot over here. All right, you're live. You're in the Henry McClure live studio.
It's nice to be here once again with you, Henry.
I think everybody knows James Bolden Jr.
I don't know who does and who doesn't, but
You know who I want to know more about? I don't know if we. I want to talk sometimes more about your dad.
well, sure.
His business.
I should be more happy to.
You know, your dad used to
ask me whatever question you like.
Well, you're the one that wanted to come in and talk.
Well, I didn't.
You know, I'm getting discriminated in Topeka for being a white man.
What are they discriminating about you, Henry?
Well, because I'm not a member. There isn't one deal that I've ever done that's ever qualified to get grant money from Go Topeka.
Well, those are your people, I thought, Henry.
They're not. No, that you got to pay to play in Topeka. And I've refused to be a member of the chamber.
You're not a member?
No, I'm not.
I thought you was a member.
No, in fact, one of my clients joined. I said it'd be good for you to join, and I'll post the letter sometime. Someday in the future, I'll post the letter about what he said about Topeka and the Chamber of Commerce. They're no help to him.
Well, you've been of great help. You helped me through them.
Pardon?
You helped me through the chamber.
Oh man, you're kidding me.
Yeah, you helped me.
You know what we ought to do?
Yeah.
We ought to take over Israel's job. You know who Israel is?
Well, Israel's a good man, isn't he?
No.
You don't like Israel?
I don't like anybody at Go Topeka. We don't need. It's an unnecessary. No, it's not that I don't like the people. I do like the people. People's people.
Okay.
They're nice folks.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that the government has funded them.
Well,
it's an NGO.
I would agree with you there. It doesn't have a problem with funding them. If you want to fund someone, and just like I made the city manager aware in a letter, that there should be some type of program to where if you have a complaint, you should be able to file it and it should be addressed. Now, these are taxpayer dollars. Now, if any other organization you have a complaint, it's addressed. There's a formality to address it.
Well, see,
but here there was no formality. That's when we met there. That's why I was so upset and furious that day, because there was no formality. When Kinzinger was there,
Doug Kinzinger,
he would just not take my calls. Now,
like the mayor. You know, the mayor has never returned my phone call.
Are you kidding?
No.
I thought you had a good rapport with the mayor.
I think he's kind of funny. Made him laugh the other night.
Well, yeah, you make.
But I think he's a worthless mayor. I think he's bought and paid for with the same money that they used to fund Go Topeka.
Well, he said Mayor Wagner was his mentor.
I love her. She's a good lady.
Well, she's the one that took my housing.
She took your housing?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, she used to be head of the Democratic Party.
I'm not a Democrat. I really don't. I'm not really part of any party.
That's the way to be.
He was a part of the Republican Party, so. But he was.
Wasn't your dad was head of the Black Republican Party?
He started up the Kansas Black Republican.
I didn't know you were black.
Yeah, he started up the Kansas Black Republican Party.
That's good.
And he also has a where it's. Go ahead.
Mitch McConnell needs to retire. He's a bad Republican.
Mitch McConnell.
He's this old dude in Washington.
Well, Mitch is the only one to stand up to having any sense. I mean, come on now.
Okay, but
let me say this so I can. Fool me once, it's on you. Fool me twice, it's on me.
Okay. So, are we going to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop? You know, because one of the things you said before the show was you were for law and order.
Law and order. That's correct.
Law and order.
Yes.
So do you think it was right that Hunter got pardoned and then didn't have to pay all his income tax?
Well, I don't know the formalities of all that. Income tax, I don't, I'm not.
Do you
so I
think
can't
Hunter
really
Biden
comment.
did drugs?
Well, he said he did.
Okay,
He said he did. He admitted to that.
so that's against the law.
Well, it is against the law, but a lot of people do drugs that's against the law.
I know.
What I'm referring to is not man's law so much, but God's law.
Okay, I love God.
Yeah,
Amen.
Lord, yeah, the Lord says that we should have ethics in our life. We should have morals in our life. He says truth and righteousness. That's why I'm so offended, because we've gotten away from truth and righteousness.
And see, that's what people that watch my show complain about is Jim Klossman and Lawrence Bay. He has the moral obligation to pay his taxes back there. There's $6, $7, $8 million in back taxes. And you should have the moral obligation, whether, even though that the corrupt system doesn't foreclose on him.
Well, Jesus said, "Pay Caesar what's Caesar's." But somehow America has gotten away from its founding fathers.
I just picked up a book Will Durant wrote on Caesar and Christ, and I'm going to read that book as soon as I get done with Kash Patel's book.
What do you think about Kash Patel?
I think he is a patriot.
Patriot?
Oh, yeah.
And can you tell me why?
Because all that he's done, I think when he was running the counterterrorism group, he was outstanding.
Yeah, I don't know much about the man, so I can't comment.
Well, he loved hockey, and he liked to go to Disneyland with his family, Disney World.
What do you think about retribution?
What about it?
Do you believe that there should be retribution?
Well, I get it every day. That's why Go Topeka's never funded any of my projects.
So you say you don't believe in it?
No, I'm a victim of it.
Okay, very good, very good. Retribution. If we teach what Jesus is teaching, he says that we should have mercy and forgive one another and love one another. And I know I don't always.
And I forgive you for not knowing that Biden pardoned over 8,000 people. I forgive you.
Yeah, I knew that that when it came to people who did marijuana, that he had pardoned a lot of them because it had been made legal in many places.
And I am for that. I think I've smoked a lot of weed when I was younger.
Yeah, well, when we were younger, younger we did. We were younger. But as we grow,
a lot of girls like to smoke weed. And
well, the thing about it is,
carry on.
The thing about it is, it's the herbs.
Well, it is
that the Lord planted here.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that one.
Huh?
It's hard to argue
and
that.
He says it should be for good, but we don't all believe in the Lord. We don't all read the Bible.
I read it. It's it's a very dry writing.
Well, what do you mean when you say dry?
It's just, to me, if you don't understand it's like, you ever ate chicken that's dry? No, but you ever ate chicken that's dry?
Oh, yeah. It's not very tasty.
It's good, but it's good for you.
It's not very tasty.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
but
that's what I, like when I'm reading Kash Patel's book, it's like, it connects the dots. Everything comes to life to me.
What kind of dots are you looking?
I'm looking at everything that happened with Russiagate and all the stuff. Yeah.
Tell me about Russiagate.
Well, it's all the stuff that the Hillary Clinton fabricated with the Steele dossier to hopefully try to beat Trump.
Well, the thing about it is, do you believe, let me ask you a question, do you believe that the Department of Education needs to be done away?
Yes, in Washington.
Can you tell me why?
Because I want just all the money to come to Kansas. No, I want all the states to have, I want the states to have the money.
Do you believe, let me you're a
no, wait, but
you're a grandfather, right?
no,
Okay, you're a father, right?
yeah,
Okay. Now, as a father, you have a responsibility, don't
right.
you? You have a responsibility to make sure that your children have the things that they need as your father did you.
Oh, so real
Correct?
quick, can I
Go
interrupt?
ahead.
Don't you believe the states are smart enough how to spend money on education, each state individually?
No.
And for that, you need to have a Department of Education that oversees everything.
No, the federal government should oversee. See,
Well, see, but that's the
well,
difference.
see, let's just get to the meat of it. And during the segregation era,
I know all about it.
yes, when it was integration in Little Rock, Arkansas,
Right.
the states did not want to abide by the law. So the federal government had to come in and escort those black children into school. Now, since then, which we're here 50 years later, 60 years later, kids love one another, black and white. They love one another.
I never did.
Now, what? I have this question for you. You may not be able to answer it. Where did it come from? Because the Lord says, when I made man, I made him equal. So where did it come from that he made one man less than another? In other words, he made black and white and brown and whatever other colors, the rainbow. You know, the rainbow. Rainbow is beautiful. So I think that greed has set in somewhere. And I don't have much money. I mean, I have enough. I have enough to be comfortable. I'm fat now. And I'm here talking to you. I'm not working right now. So I have enough to be comfortable. But greed is another beast. It's another, what do you call it? Greed.
Hang on just a second.
Go ahead.
Ziggy, how much does the Department of Education manage in Washington, D.C.?
I don't know that.
Ziggy is not hitting on any cylinder today.
Now the other thing is, now you help me with this because you're a businessman. You're a businessman. You're an established businessman, and you know business.
And I also know about segregation and integration.
Right. Well,
You know why?
Why?
Because my family was colorblind.
Very good. Now, that's good. Now, Elon Musk is a businessman.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Okay. Do you believe that he's telling you the truth?
Yeah, I do.
You do. Okay. Do you believe that a man that's receiving federal contracts should be in Washington, D.C., overlooking all contracts?
So for that, but hang on for what you're saying then.
I know they've done it for a long time.
Then Neil Dobler shouldn't be able to approve any of the Bartlett and West contracts. Is that what you're saying? Neil Dobler sits on city council.
He should recuse himself, is what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes, he should recuse himself. He does, doesn't he?
No.
Well, that's the problem with where America has gone to. And in order
But here's the thing. You know what Elon said?
Because let me just go ahead.
No, he said, if there's any indiscrepancies in my contracts, let's bring them to light and fix them.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, but by doing nothing,
Yes, sir.
it's worse. Because now, hang on a sec.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so he bought Twitter, X,
Yes, sir.
and that they've admitted, even Zuckerberg, they've stymied free speech,
Okay.
and Elon Musk is letting us go on X. We can say what we want. We get to say it, and we are the news now. We are the news. It's not WIBW anymore. No, we are the news.
Well, that's correct.
As a matter of fact, I've got a great article that I'll put underneath this on Earl McIntosh. You know who Earl is?
No, sir.
So he comes in with 5,400 vote or petitions
Mm-hmm.
to uphold the revenue neutral, and they just dismissed him. They shoot him away like a fly.
They use them at city council.
The city council.
Now,
So we had to sue him,
okay.
and Ken Corbett had to sue the county for not running the meeting right. They'll win that lawsuit. And so, the city, the taxpayers are about ready to get $6 to $8 million back because they haven't been running it right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that right now there are 1,000 properties that haven't paid property tax, and Rich Eckert's too busy to foreclose on them?
Well, how are we going to fix these problems?
You know, what's really wild about being a county commissioner,
to help fix some.
and you know what?
Came up a little short, but
Yeah.
you did right. You've done your part.
No, yeah. And what I learned, the problem is under the dome.
I believe that.
And now what I'm learning is if the Republicans have a veto-proof House and Senate, that Laura Kelly is just
Sound like my church. Go ahead.
she can't do anything.
Well,
But
I agree with you.
the Republicans don't have a leader. They don't. The guy says we don't have a Vince Lombardi in there telling, huddling up and telling,
And why is that?
because people won't say it like I say it. I was stupid enough to run for county commission and say I would give up my real estate license.
Your business.
Yeah, how dumb is that?
I don't know.
But I was going to work for $60,000, and I thought some people would say, "Huh, he's serious. He's going to work for the people." And see, this is what I like about Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk
Okay.
is they can't get any benefit out of this.
Oh, wait a minute.
No,
Wait
Elon Musk can't,
Wait.
and Trump doesn't need money.
Wait a minute. After you have exuberated a large amounts of money, what else does a man want in life? Exuberant amount of money. After you've accumulated an exuberant amount of money.
You tell me what it's like.
Power. Man, because man is steady wanting more.
You had enough power to come here on your own.
Yeah. Man steady wants more.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. But see.
But what more could?
What did Michael Cohen say?
Which one?
See, we have a short memory.
Who's Michael Cohen?
The gentleman that went to jail for Donald, his attorney.
He didn't go to jail for him. He went to jail. You mean Mike Cohen?
Yeah.
He went to because he's a corrupt mother.
Well, he went to jail because he was working deals for Donald, and he was telling us about the deal in Russia.
That's part of Russiagate. Look, we ought to talk about stuff we all know about.
Well,
Michael Cohen is disbarred.
Well,
all the lawyers said, based on your behavior.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the rush with this new administration? Trying to pass all this stuff all at one time. Do you believe?
No, wait. Right now, he ain't breaking the law.
I didn't say he's breaking the law.
But I'll tell you what the truth is. The truth is, he's got. How do you complain? How do you complain that he's auditing all the departments? What's wrong with that?
Well, let me ask you something. Good question. You're a businessman. Could you? Well, I'm sure this stuff was done prior to him being elected. Would you agree with that?
What?
The auditing part.
No.
So, do you believe that in a matter of 3 weeks, you can go in there and audit these large agencies and make good decisions on?
Okay, look. Tell you something. You give me your checkbook, and in 5-10 minutes, I can find you how to save money. If I just look at your spending.
Well, you couldn't do mine because I'm very frugal.
But I'll tell you something. See that board right there?
Yeah.
See all those lists on that?
Yeah.
That's stuff that I should be working on. And
But my stuff
but
is
I'm
small
what I'm
compared to the federal
saying,
government.
if
Your
Elon
stuff would be small compared to the federal government.
if Elon Musk would come in and look at my board, look at my books, and tell me I could do better, I'd do what he said. You know why?
Why?
Because he's successful. But listen to
Well,
this.
well,
He
well,
ran.
when you say that he's successful, I have a different opinion about success because
Would you
Elon
no? If you
Elon
had
Musk was not much
$420
different.
billion
He was not
dollars,
much different than Donald Trump. His daddy had gold from Africa.
well,
His daddy
no,
was
I
very
think his
well off.
upbringing was
His
a lot
daddy,
different.
His daddy was well off,
You know, he didn't get along with his dad,
but his daddy was well off.
but
Whether he got along with
he's
him or not.
self-made man.
Okay, well, I'm not going.
I don't think Donald was, but
Well, Donald's daddy was well off too.
he was one of the richest guys in the
Well,
world.
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And so what I'm saying is that we need to get back. Let me ask you this question: do you believe that a man that is rich in gold and rubies and gold would be a better man, say, than me, that's running the country? Well, I don't take myself out of it. Okay, let me say, a man that is rich compared to a man that's poor, but yet has values. Do you believe that a man that's rich would know how to do better than a man that has values, ethics, morals, and what have you? I don't know what's spending. I don't know. Hold just a minute. I don't know what type of monies are being mishandled in Washington. I know that there's it's there. We all know because the Inspector General says they uncover millions and millions of dollars of taxpayers' dollars, and they don't report it over the TV. But yet they also say that we don't have enough Inspector Generals to catch all the corruption. So I know that there's corruption in the government.
You know, there could be a corrupt inspector general.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. There's so much corruption. That's the point. How do we get back to where we need to be in order? See, Rome and in Egypt, the Pharaoh, they all was great at one time, but then they all end up collapsing. I'm afraid.
Okay, you know why Rome fell?
Why?
Because its inability to assimilate and matriculate the people they conquered, the immigrants.
Okay.
They, you know, at the time of
Well, I thought it had something to do with Caesar and Mark Antony.
no, you're back to you're going too far back to the Cleopatra days.
Oh, Cleopatra, right?
Yeah, so why don't we fast forward to no, let's fast forward to Constantine. You like this guy?
I haven't read up on him.
You ought to read about him and his vision that he had at the Mulvian Bridge.
Yeah, I have to read up on
And he's the guy who held the Council of Nicaea to create the King James Bible. He was the one who took Rome Christian.
Well, that's a good thing. But I'm glad you got there, because at one time there were the Hebrew people, and some people may call them the Israelites. Would let the people out of the land of slavery. They let them out of slavery. They gave them the promised land. And then once they got the promised land, they got all excited and they went back to serving false gods. Well, Rome, this was the other gentleman, maybe you call his name. It wasn't Paul in Damascus. Was it Cornelius? I believe it was Cornelius. I'm not 100% sure, but he was a Christian man. He was a Roman. And because he loved the Lord, then Rome was blessed. Rome was blessed, and Rome began to multiply and begin to prosper. But the same thing Rome did, the same thing the Israelites, they got excited. That's what we're doing today. We're getting excited. We have stopped serving the Lord, is where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, in fact, Senator Schumer says that they're aroused in Washington. They're getting aroused. No, but if you really want to know, getting back to basics,
Mhm.
go talk to an Orthodox priest. They're interesting. I work for one, and I asked him when his first service was, and he goes, "Well, that'd be Pentecost." And he'll tell you, you ought to ask an Orthodox priest whether um, is Putin a conqueror or is he a liberator? Because that comes back to a real question. Because the
Putin is an evil man. And I'm going to say why I say he's an evil man. Because the Lord says, thou shalt not kill. Now, if a man wants to rule a country,
okay, well,
let
hang
me
on.
finish,
Would you
please.
kill to
Wait,
keep
wait,
your
wait.
family safe?
Well, that'd be the first thought if it was necessary. But that's what I would like. I would want to do. See, I have to remove self. Before my father died, he said you must remove self. Now, a diplomatic man is who we need as a leader.
When you're staring down at the end of a barrel, how do you?
I've stared down at the end of a barrel.
Me too.
A couple times.
Me too.
One was a shotgun. One was a 357. And my first reaction was a shotgun. I just froze because he stand up on the bed and we was in college. He wouldn't pay no rent money. And I told him to go get a job washing dishes, and I would give him a ride to wash dishes. His name was Murphy. I remember the day from St. Louis, and he wouldn't get a job. He wouldn't wash dishes. He wouldn't do nothing. So I went to his bedroom.
But he wouldn't shoot you.
Well, he had the gun up there.
Right.
My other roommate took it away from him.
So where's Murphy now?
I don't know where
Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
So yeah, I've you know, the world. When I say the world, and I say hate, the world hated Jesus. Why did the world hate Jesus?
Because of change.
The world.
No, he was going to change.
It was change.
Yeah,
it was change.
It was change.
I'm
you know what those? You know what they said? They go, "What's your hurry? Why are you hurrying into this? We don't need this kind of change."
Well, I don't know about the hurry. You may be correct, but the change that I knew about was he was winning the souls of the people away from the Pharisees and the scribes.
And that's all we need to do here to change Topeka. We just need to. So what I think's going on with Doge, and see everything. You still have to follow the law. Here's the thing.
The Department of Government Ethics, if nobody knows what Doge stands
Yeah,
for.
but here's the thing about it. If you take all these cabinet positions, hang on, they all report to the executive branch.
Correct.
So Trump is just being president.
Well, he is being president.
Now, when was the last time you remember a president holding a press conference in the Oval Office?
Well, I don't know. But
isn't that transparency?
What I did want to say was that we have all these Congress people, senators, Congress people. Are you saying that they're allowing all this corruption to go on and they're not saying or doing anything about it? Is that what you're telling me today?
They have.
And why are they doing this?
Because they're just part of the system.
Bribery.
No.
They're being bribed. They're corrupt. They're
well,
corrupt.
I mean, they're looking into.
How about our senators, Jerry Moran and Roger Marshall?
What about them?
Are they part of this corruption that we're talking about here?
Well, they belong to the same club. Okay. And I don't know.
Well, we'll leave it there.
I don't. I know both of them personally.
Well, I don't know them both personally, but I do.
I like Jerry Moran better.
Yeah. Well, he stood up for the U.S. aid. I do know that.
Roger Marshall laughed at me when I told him that a candidate that I liked. And it just, you don't have to humiliate a guy just for having a different opinion.
That is correct. We agree to disagree. And that's what we're doing here today.
No, we're good friends. Yeah. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I'm just saying we'll agree to disagree.
We're yin and yang. But you know something
I'm glad
about
you keep humor in it because it's very important that we keep a little humor.
Well, because we go insane.
Yes.
We really would. Yes, I thanked him last time I was down at City Council. that, I don't have to pay a psychiatrist for.
I've been to a psychiatrist before.
I'd have too.
Yeah,
I
I've
made
been
quite an investment in one. I go, hey, aren't you going to do any work here? No, you're doing
You're
good.
doing good.
Yeah, you just keep talking.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking. So, that's
So
my
here's what I'm
concerns.
trying to see.
Those are my concerns, Henry.
Well, no,
Now,
so
you feel as though, and you're not getting to the meat and potato like I'd like you to get to. You feel as though the Congress, the senators, the congressmen and women that are there in Washington D.C. that we voted in, that they're allowing all this corruption to go on.
I don't think that any one person has had uh, could affect the change that Trump's doing right now. And if it's nothing else, it's just shedding light on it. No. See, there's some things with USAID that, well, wait a minute. That program's actually doing something good. It's going to continue to keep getting money.
Well, you seen where the Reverend, they call him Graham's son, had to speak with Trump after he cut those funds. I believe that was the Graham's son.
Well, but let's talk about for one thing, it's just bringing everything up to the forefront. So
Okay.
if somebody legally has the money,
Okay.
they can take the president to court, and right now he's 2-0 winning the rulings.
Well, I would agree with you on that. There are some things I do agree with on Donald.
Name one. Name one.
Well, one is just what you said. I'll name another one, but one is just what you said. He's bringing a lot of this stuff to light, so that we can look at it. And it seems like senators and Congress people are just as quiet as a church mouse.
No, they're not. Didn't you see Maxine Waters yelling at everybody? And that guy shaking his cane at the guy at the door?
Yeah, you do see that.
And Schumer?
Yeah, you do see that if you look hard. You do see that.
Well,
but
see, I watch Fox News.
Now, I wouldn't have a problem if Elon Musk did not have government contracts, because I have read in there.
No, wait a minute. But he doesn't have Department of Education contracts.
Well, still, we don't know what he's looking at. We don't know what Donald's.
What does it matter? Something. No, but hang on a second.
It's a conflict of interest.
To look?
Yes.
How is it a conflict of interest to have him look at employees?
Well, he even mentioned that one of the people that Trump fired was giving Elon Musk's company a hard time through safety.
But what if it was corruption? What if the guy given the hard time was doing it just to get paid off?
So you believe?
Do you believe that there's payoffs and kickbacks?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely.
As long as we can agree on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, but
and I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of it, because at the end of the day, like I say, we have to have.
Okay.
Well, the only problem with Donald is this: in his first administration, he's done some good things. Now, I'm gonna say that preference.
Name one.
Well, I don't believe this is the latest one he's done. I don't believe that because a man changes himself to a woman, that he still has the physical body of a man. He should not compete with a woman. I do agree with Donald on that. I can name more too.
Well, okay, but but fundamentally, right there, that there's either a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty fundamental.
And
but if you belong to a group of people
mm-hmm.
that don't believe in that,
mm-hmm.
don't you think that group over here's not very sane?
Well, that is correct.
Hey, I'm gonna get some water.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the phone. You
All
talk
right.
to our guest.
Well,
come on, just say hey. Tell them about who you are, what you're doing.
Well, I'm James Bolton, and I am very knowledgeable of business. Water? Yes, please. And how I would like to see things run. I read the Bible for myself. I study to show myself approved, and I try to study before I comment on something. Um, I think that Henry is giving us the ability to speak, or me the ability to speak. I'm not much of a speaker. You probably see that now. But I do want America to be a country of truth and righteousness, because that's what I read. And in order for America, and I say I don't know what's going on in Washington, but I do know that you can't fix something in 1 or 2 days. But as Henry said, he's bringing stuff to the forefront. Be transparent. Be transparent on what you're doing, and slow down. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. You've got 4 years in office. So what's the rush? What's the hurry? That's what I'm here to say. What is the rush? Yes, there's corruption in the government, and there always will be. Um, but we need a spiritual man. We need a spiritual man running this country. Thank you, Henry.
Oh, wait a minute. I took a drink out of that one.
Well, that's fine.
Sorry, I don't have the
You
good
don't-
waters
don't have-
today.
You don't have, yeah, you're fine. I was just saying, we need a spiritual man.
Well, wait a minute.
To
Did
lead
you
this
know
country.
that Trump just created the Office of Spiritual Health?
No, I didn't know anything.
Yeah, he did. And it's not, I'm not naming it right, but he created an office for religious freedom in the White House. It's now a position.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Didn't Sam Brownback end up going to Washington? And what is the name of his title? Sam Brownback. You know.
Retired.
No, he's a religious.
That,
What office is he holding?
boy, he's an example of then, he wasn't smart enough to run the state of Kansas.
Well, you're a Republican. You don't believe that, okay? Yeah, it was a lot of hanky panky going on. The reason I know is because we had that contract down there we did a construction cleanup there on 29th and Fairlawn, that Dillon's building, and we bidded to clean that building. But it was a company out of Texas, $1 billion company out of Texas, that donated to his funds, that ended up getting the contract. And I tried to talk to his office, and my dad knew this man, but I could not get through to those people because his office would not let me through. So it's a lot of evil when it comes to money.
Let's see if Ziggy can get this one right. Hey, Ziggy, what's the Department of Religious Freedom that Trump just opened?
Department of Religious Education on South Center Street, TAY 202 in Rexburg is open until later today at 5 p.m.
That isn't it. But he did. He's opened up.
Do you believe Donald's a spiritual man?
Yeah.
You do believe
Yeah,
Donald's
you
a
don't
spiritual
have to
man?
read the Bible or go to church to be spiritual.
Well, what do you have to do to be spiritual?
I think you have to have a relationship with God.
And how do you get a relationship with God?
You get your ear shot.
You do what?
You get a bullet. You get no, you get assassinated. Attempted assassination will wake you up. There are no
Well-
atheists in a foxhole. That's enough for me. Hey, I'm here but for a miracle. I drank myself to death. I'm here because God saved my life. God saved Donald Trump's life.
For something. And he will give us many opportunities. He will forgive us. He will give us ample time to get it right. He's a loving God. He's just like your son, your daughter.
Bianca, my daughter.
Your daughter. you're going to give her many opportunities to get it right. When she goes off and gets it wrong, you're going to be upset. But you've learned to be patient with your daughter. That's
No,
good.
I think she probably learned to be patient with me more.
Well, you're a daddy. So that's where the Lord is to us. He gives us plenty of, but if we don't finally wake up, then he has to act. And this is why I'm here today is to say, let's wake up. Let's wake up.
Well, look, hang on a second here. So let's say there was a Bible
Mhm.
that was only, let's say that every department of the government
Mhm.
had one book of the Bible, and you could only read that book unless you worked for that department. Would that be fair?
I don't know if I understood your question.
So let's say for every book in the Bible,
Okay.
there was a department of
Oh,
government
well,
that.
no, you need to read the whole thing.
No, I know, but what if the department of what if the IRS wouldn't let you read their book? And what if Elon Musk went in there and said, "Well, here's their book, and I want you to read it. That's all I want you to do is I want you to read the book that the IRS has been sitting on."
I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, look, because that's all they're really trying to do. They just want to let you read the book, and then once you've got all the books together, you've got the Bible, right?
Okay.
And so that's what Trump's trying to do. He's just trying to say, let's look what everybody's doing.
And what has prompted him to do this?
The people, because
Okay.
we want change.
We want
You know,
change.
remember,
Well-
not only did he win the electoral college, he won the popular vote.
Yes.
So he's just fulfilling campaign promises.
Now, what kind of change do we want?
Well,
The people. What did the people vote? What kind of change did they vote?
well, I think that we want transparency.
Do we have transparency today?
We're
we
we're
have any
working
more
on
tran-
it.
Do we have any more transparency today going through these budgets and cutting these programs?
Well, let's let it happen.
Well,
Where's the harm in it?
What's happening?
It's not costing anybody
but
any
people-
money to
yeah,
do
people
it.
are losing their jobs.
No, 75,000 people took early retirement.
That's correct. That's
So
correct.
they volunteered.
That's correct.
But you know why?
Mhm.
Because they didn't want to come to work anymore. All
Probably.
Trump has said,
Probably.
if you don't come to work anymore, you're going to lose your
And
job.
I have no problem really with that. That's
Okay.
another thing I don't have a problem.
Okay, good.
I don't have no problem with that. That's
Half a win and showing up.
Yeah. Trump's he's a very hard worker. However, the point of it is, with Donald, the point that I have is that, you're not being transparent.
Wait a minute. What do you mean?
Well, you're not being transparent.
Well, wait a minute. So he sends a notice to everybody. All the people know that what the notice said, and the notice said if
Well,
you
not-
don't
not-
show
not-
up to
not-
work.
Not about that. When I say he's not being transparent, when he told the people that I will have to stop the war in Ukraine,
He's only
day
been in
one.
there like, what,
He said
18,
he would
20
do it- He
days?
said he would do it day one.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
So
Now-
what, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
What does that have to do with transparency?
He didn't do it.
Well,
He didn't do it. And,
So-
he knew he couldn't.
well, let's impeach him. We should
Well-
throw him out of office. He didn't stop a war in one day.
Well, that's what he said he could do. Now,
Yeah, I don't ever recall him saying that ever.
well, there's many things. We can get off of that and we can go to something else.
I would too if I was you.
Yeah, we can go to something else.
Okay, but you can't say the guy's a failure that he didn't stop the war in one day.
Well, the thing about it is,
I think what he said,
do
if
you-
I was
do
president,
do you believe? Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Donald Trump loves people like you and me?
yeah,
You do.
he'd love me.
You think he would?
Oh yeah,
Why would he love you?
because I'm a deal maker.
You're a deal maker.
Yeah,
Okay, what I'm going to
Because
say.
I'm a real estate guy.
But what I'm going to say, unless he can use you in some type of form or fashion, that he doesn't care anything about you. And this is what's been proven over time and over time and over time, time in and time out. He's a narcissist. He thinks about himself. He rigs it for where it benefits him.
Oh, come
He
on.
cannot be a failure. And the thing about it is, he doesn't care.
So, do you hate Donald Trump?
No, I don't hate anyone.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No. I don't hate anyone.
But did you vote for Donald
No.
Trump?
I would never vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
Hey, the reason why? You know the reason why?
I voted for Donald Trump. We won.
But you know the reason why I would never voted for him? Because the Lord believes in truth and righteousness.
But who are you to judge to call him a narcissist? That's not your place.
Well, here we are.
No, wait a minute. Where's the Bible verse about us not judging here on earth?
Well, let me explain that.
Because
to
it's
you.
out there too.
Well, let me explain that.
I'll bet Ziggy could get that one right.
Well, let me explain that one to you. If you're spiritual, and if you are aware and familiar with the Bible, because you judge every day. When you decided what you had for lunch, you made a judgment of what you were eating for lunch.
I
We
was
make
mad that
judgments.
they didn't have the tuna salad.
We make a judgment every day, whether it's right or wrong. We judge every day, and all I'm saying is, I want America to get better. I know there's a lot of corruption in the government, local government, state government, federal government. But the only way, and I'm gonna leave it with this, that it can get better, is if you have a God-fearing man in office, not a rich man. Not a rich man. It's not about how much
No,
money you
but
make.
hang on a second.
Because manna. What did the Lord say when the rich man came to the Lord Jesus and he said, "Lord Jesus, I've done everything you requested for me to do."
Hang on a second.
He said, "Well, I've done everything you requested me to do, Jesus." And what did Jesus say to that man? Jesus said, "Now go and give all your riches to the poor and come and follow me." And what did the rich man say? He said, "I can't do that, Lord. I can't do that." He never made it. He never made it. So that is the bargaining chip, and that's what we all do. Money makes you temporarily happy, but to get the kind of joy that I have, you have to believe in the Lord. You have to be able to do His will. See, that's why I'm here today.
Ziggy, what's the net worth of Joe Biden?
Joe Biden has an estimated net worth of $10 million US.
Okay, that's a lot of money for a Congress. I don't know what he does for it, but that's not near the kind of money of a Donald Trump or a Elon Musk. But it's rich to me, though.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and
I don't think
well,
that's true. I think it.
Well, you're right. It is,
I read that it was
is-
36 million.
That is a good amount of money.
Yeah, he
And
made like
I think-
180,000 a
I think
year.
I think you're referring to the other lady, Democrat lady. What's her name? She has 36 million. I believe. She used to be the House.
Oh no, Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
No,
She
no.
has 36 million.
She's got 150
Oh,
million.
she got 59.
Hey Ziggy, what's the net worth of Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi is worth an estimated $120 million
Well, you're
US.
right. Which went up.
She has a salary of around $223,000 US.
So all you're doing is proving the fact that Washington is corrupt.
Well, no, hang on.
And that's what the people are saying. And the people, a lot of times, the people know more than I know. I don't deny that. But
That's
but-
why he won the popular
but
vote.
I guess, and then the other thing of it is, I'm glad we got there, is the DEI. Are you familiar with the DEI?
Yeah, that's Go Topeka.
No, DEI.
Yeah, Matt Pavarnak is a DEI hire.
Oh. Diversity, equity, and
Yeah.
inclusion?
He wears a bow tie.
Well, equal employment opportunity. Let's put it that way. Equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity. Are you familiar with that?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes. Now, what does that have to do? Well, are we saying? Well, and I would agree with this. That agency probably is funneling and corrupt also.
Which one?
The Equal Opportunity Commission.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you why I say that.
Here, lay it on me, baby.
Because It doesn't work. They've taken that money, and this is what goes on. The housing and urban development, same thing. It doesn't work. Uh, how are you going to get them to work? So, yeah, maybe Donald is onto something. Excuse me. Maybe Donald is onto something. And we're going. And I say I'm going to be patient.
Here's what
But what ticked me off today was Donald was being honest today. He said that. How did he say that? It was coming on my phone. He said that he did kind of give in to Putin. That's what kind of pissed me off.
let's see. Let's see if Ziggy knows that one. Ziggy, did Donald Trump give in to Putin today?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question I heard.
It was on-
I don't think he
yeah,
gave
well,
in to
it was
Putin.
definitely on the internet, but I don't mean it's true. But that's what came up on it, and that's kind of what took it. It could be false.
You know,
It could be false.
I was reading that quote from Abraham Lincoln.
Mhm.
He said, "Don't believe everything that
Well,
comes up on the internet."
That's correct. Well, that's correct. I agree with you.
All
I
right.
agree
So
with you.
what news source was that?
Well, it was on my phone.
Did Donald Trump give in to Putin today?
All right, we are going to have reaction ahead on these upcoming negotiations when we check in with the former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor. Let's begin with NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. Kelly, good morning. Let's start right now with that conversation between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. How did this call come about, first of all? And what did the president have to say about what kind of role Ukraine would potentially have in these negotiations?
Good morning, Sam and Savannah. This is one of the most compelling relationships on the world stage, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. The president for quite a while had been reluctant to say whether he had spoken to him or not. And now, out in the open, he is discussing a lengthy meeting where they are planning for negotiations to end this war. What is a notable shift from the Biden years when the war began and President Biden assembled a coalition of NATO support to help Ukraine is the Biden administration would say nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. Here, there's a real question about that. President Trump did speak to President
that's
Zelensky, but he has focused on the U.S. and Russia working toward a solution. And when he was specifically asked if Ukraine would be an equal partner, he called that a cure.
Yeah, I hope Facebook doesn't cut this out just because I was using the media.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm being patient.
with me,
No, with this administration. Being patient.
well, let's hear. Donald Trump just created a White House office for religion. Here it is, right here. Trump creates faith office led by controversial Florida pastor. Well, anyway, there is.
I'm also creating the White House Faith Office, led by Pastor Paula White, who is so amazing. In the White House, we will protect Christians in our schools, in our military, in our government, in our workplaces, hospitals, and in our public squares. And we will bring our country back together as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all.
You know, I never heard Joe Biden ever speak like that.
Well, talking is one thing.
Well, he created an office
And doing is another.
for Christians.
Yeah, talking is one thing. And
You
doing
know,
is
some
another.
days I feel like we can't win with you.
Well, like I said,
No,
I mean,
talking's one thing, but he just opened up an office for it.
Well, have you ever been? Are you a con man, Henry?
No.
Have you ever been around a con man?
Yeah, Joe Biden.
No, seriously. Other than Joe Biden in your life, have you ever been around a con man?
Yeah, I did. I was
Okay.
by a con man who got. There was actually an article, or his case went to the Supreme Court in Kansas, Hassert versus Henderson.
Okay. Now,
And I looked at Hassert and I said, well, you know something? If this guy can make it, if I just am honest, I can make it.
Now,
He was very motivating to me.
now, a con man will tell you what we have preachers in the church that are con men. They will tell you what you want to hear, and if you don't look it up and determine if it's the truth, then you've been conned. So study to show yourself approved. A con man, we have them every day that calls and try to take money out of the old people's. They probably have called you and tried to take money out of your pocket.
Man, they did one time. It was an Evergy scan.
Yeah. And these are con men, and they're good at what they do, is my point. They're good at what they do. The devil is good at what he does.
That's why we spent $544,000 to hire a consultant to advise us what to do with the hotel. That was a con man.
Well, we have many con men within the city. They just hired somebody to tell them what to do with the homeless. They hire people all the time to tell them what to do, but do they follow through? Do they follow through? They don't follow through.
Number one, they should have never bought the hotel. Let the free market decide. Number two, you hire a guy for $540,000.
Why did they buy the hotel? Why did they buy the hotel?
You got to ask the con man.
A lot of kickbacks.
No, I'll tell you what they did. You know what they really did? They created a problem so some guy could solve it. And the some guy will be a friend to the,
To the chamber.
a friend to,
the city.
yeah. So create a problem and then have your friend solve it over here and it will look arm's length.
Well, what do you think about
It's a con job.
What do you think about the homeless problem in Topeka? It's been going on for how many years now?
Well, hell, if I don't, if I had to live off of the deals that Molly Howie supported for me, I'd be homeless. Every one of my deals, well, that doesn't create jobs. That doesn't create jobs. She's so full of shit. I'm serious. They spend $2.5 million, and the original money was designed to grow the population and expand the tax base.
What would it take to have the city and the county to look at another agency?
Consolidation. We need to consolidate the governments. We need to have less people, and we need to get government stick their nose out of so much stuff.
Well, no, let me finish my question.
Oh.
What do you think it would take to get the county and the city to have another organization to handle the taxpayers' funds and the economic?
Well, we're going to have to come forward with it. Somebody's got to take on Go Topeka. Somebody's got to take on the chamber. Do you know that Larry Walgast, who used to be the mayor of the city, calls up Joan Wagner and says, "Why are you supporting Henry McClure for county commissioner?" I mean, we're up against, see, here's the whole con job. They don't want to change.
Yeah, that's correct. That's true.
Okay, the establishment
That's true.
is making money
Yeah.
hand over fist, doing it the way we're doing it.
Off of the people.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And see, that's what Trump told everybody. You let me in there and I'll uncover the corruption. And everybody voted for him. So he's just doing, and then as long as he's acting within the law.
Do you feel like the first time he didn't know what he was doing?
Absolutely. I think the first time, you ought to read this Cash Patel book. They were set up for the deep state. The deep state, so is the fourth branch of government. Do you know that he wrote a executive order that said no more federal funds will go to aiding the illegal aliens in this country, and the chick just sent $67 million to New York.
Well, speaking of the immigrants, do you believe this country will survive without some of those immigrants?
Yeah, I do.
Who's gonna pick?
Somebody's gonna have to get off their ass and do some work.
Well, who's gonna do it though?
Well, we'll just automate. There's
You're talking about the picking cotton and the picking corn. You can all be automated.
we're gonna if nobody's gonna get off their ass and get in the fields,
Mm-hmm.
But we shouldn't be eating corn anyway. It's bad for you. Corn's got all the GMOs and all the
Well, that's
glyphosate, all the
that's the other corn, isn't it? That's the corn is supposed to be good for you.
no, I'll prove it to you.
Well, what about the apples and oranges? Somebody got picked them too.
Well, apples are full of fructose. You got to get back to basics. Remember when an apple was about as big as your fist? Now the apple's about as big as a softball. It's full of sugar. Man, that's what I like.
Well,
You know what I like about RFK the most?
Who's going to build the housing? Who's going to work?
Tyler Weibel. Hire Tyler Weibel.
You see where I'm going here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got to. If you go to Texas, you see that they're the only ones. That
Well, wait a minute, but
they're the only ones that get out there in that heat.
Okay, what about? Remember our boy that was in the shotgun on the bed?
Yeah,
Yeah. Was he able-bodied?
able-bodied, yes, he was. But he didn't have a daddy, and he said his mama was going to send him some money.
Okay, but he was able-bodied.
Able-bodied.
Well, he could have picked some apples.
He sure could have. He sure could have. He sure could have.
But look, if we if we cut off the supply, you have
to be trained. You have to be trained.
Okay,
See,
but look,
see, you were trained. Your daddy trained you. My daddy trained me. Now maybe that's an excuse, but or if you don't have a daddy, you have a mama that trained you.
No,
Somebody's got to train you to work. I take a lot for granted because I was trained.
You know why? You know how I learned to work?
You were trained.
Because I didn't want to have to ask anybody for money.
But you also had some training.
I had freedom.
Your training came if it was nothing but seeing your daddy get up and go to work and your mama get up and go to work every day.
I was smart enough to figure out, if I help that lady carrying her groceries, she'll give me a nickel.
But the thing about it is, he would listen to music all night, go to school for 4 hours a day, come home.
What's his name again?
Murphy.
Murphy's Law. But look, here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
If we shut the spigot off down there and have controlled immigration,
Okay.
then we can have it both ways. But that you just can't open the border
This is
and let everybody ride in.
Let me show you some proof. When Donald Trump came in there in his first administration, and he said that we're going to
build a wall.
He said that we're going to cut off this money going to Venezuela. Why are we giving these folks all this money? Well, we were giving them that money so that they would stay over there. Now it may not make sense or not, but when we took away the money, the Venezuelan government's corrupt too. All these governments are corrupt. So the Venezuelans, when Donald Trump cut the money off, the Venezuelans took whatever they got and they quit giving the people, helping the people out. So the people started coming over here. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know a chapter and verse.
You don't know, okay.
But I know some of it.
You know some of it then.
I do know the fact that Venezuela
Mhm.
opened up their prisons and insane asylums and let those people come here.
I don't know about that part.
They emptied their jails.
See, I don't know about that.
And then they got them up to the border.
But you do know about the part where we cut off their funding.
And do you know that
Why does America fund all these countries? Why do we fund these countries?
Well, that's why USAID's getting shut down.
You don't believe we should fund these other countries?
No. Okay. And so what really USAID is a cutout for the CIA. And what they used to do is they grease money to all these foreign countries.
I had a lady tell me, I was cleaning her grocery one day. She's an older lady. And I said, well, maybe I'll run for office. She says, well, if you go to Washington, D.C., she said, what they do is they pay you under the table. She said, they pay you under the table. I said, well, I can't be a part of that. So it obviously is true. I don't know if there's any answers. I do appreciate you taking time out with me today to talk to me.
You're going to go home and take a nap.
I'll feel a lot better when I leave here. And I probably will. I won't take a nap, but I'm a lot more calmer now.
You'll feel
Because-
better when you leave here?
Yeah, I feel better than when I came.
Oh,
See, when I was
so that's a good thing.
that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. That's what I'm saying. I was pretty upset when I came, and you've made some points, and I agree with some of them. Some of them I didn't.
You know what I'm addicted to is the information.
Yes, information is good.
I am addicted to getting the information.
Information is
I
good.
am
and that's
so-
why we can communicate.
See, I'm so happy. What makes me happy is when he won the popular vote, there's nowhere to go. You know?
What do you mean there's nowhere to go?
Well, you can't say it wasn't. There was nowhere to cheat. There was no way to cheat because so many people were for him.
Well, yeah.
It was bigger. His getting elected presidency became bigger than anything else. Everybody wants change.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
change.
yes. Well, I agree with that. We all want change.
Then if we just take a breath, and let's see how it works out. Give a guy a chance.
Well, I agree. It would be patient because at the end of the day, the Lord is in control of everything. And
Now
that's
I
why-
believe that, and that's why
yeah.
that's why I don't really worry about
Yeah.
Joe Biden because
Well,
God, he'll have his day of reckoning.
well, we all will.
We all do.
We all will. However, when we got on the DEI, we didn't really finish that subject. But I don't understand.
You lost your focus when I was.
Well, I don't
You were thinking
understand-
about Matt Pavarnak's bow tie.
Well, I don't understand why. Let me just ask you: do you feel like and I'll answer whatever question you have. Do you feel like the Equal Opportunity Commission is a functional organization?
Well, so here's the thing. When I look at Go Topeka and I brought deals in, and she yaps about, well, that didn't create jobs. That didn't create jobs. So there is no Equal Opportunity Commission when it comes to doling out the money from Go Topeka.
Did I ever bring you the interlocal agreement?
Oh, I got it all.
You got the interlocal?
No, and I
agreement?
got it all. And see, here's
Now,
the,
in the interlocal agreement, it doesn't really talk about creating jobs. That was something they came up with.
yeah,
on
they
their own.
did. It's Kinzinger did that. It's
Yes.
smoke and mirrors.
Yes, that was something they came up with their own. The initial interlocal agreement was to help those less fortunate to be able to come out.
No. There is a whole set aside. There's a set aside money for that. You know, Lazone Grays brought
Yeah.
that forward.
Yeah, well, no, I was part of that.
Well, good.
Yeah, that was back in 2001. Lazone he was very inspirational. Me and then David Hurd was his name.
You know, I was willing to throw some money at him to get a lawyer to go ahead and sue Go Topeka. He could have won.
Well, I think he did at one time,
He could have won.
and he did win it, but
But-
still.
You know, where the city's vulnerable now is right now in the Citizens Committee. There was a Citizens Committee that was supposed to be formed 5 years ago. But you know what I've learned over the time of running against Bobblehead over there? Is that you've got to have everything organized so you can point somewhere where all the research is already done. So you take the interlocal agreement, you take the ballot, you show everything, because otherwise everybody just think it's me yapping. You know, they go around telling people Henry's drinking again. They do. They're
To
smug.
throw people off.
Yeah, they're crooks.
Yeah, they are.
They're crooks. Anybody that would make up lies about that,
Well, I didn't like the way that Vic Miller had treated you the other day when I went into the office with you.
Vic Miller?
Vic Miller,
What office?
the voting office. We went in there together. You may not remember.
Oh, I remember that.
I didn't like the way that he had treated you for the simple fact that
That was
Uh,
fun.
Vic Miller, when they took my housing, Vic Miller said, and he won't talk to me today because he knows that he's wrong. Vic Miller was wrong.
You know,
He said, you bought it for the land, didn't you? No, I bought it, the houses, because I wanted to fix up the houses. But he assumed I bought it for the land. So he thought, well, he said, well, you still got the land. And so he was wrong.
You know, I want to thank you. That's nice that you felt and you saw how out of line he
Oh,
behaved.
Absolutely.
You know, another guy I got to thank is John Akla. He
Mhm.
did the same thing when Kevin Cook came up to me and acted rudely.
Mhm.
John, you know, there's a certain amount of decorum you
That's
have to
correct.
have.
That's correct. That's correct. And Vic should not have done that in front of me. But because
Hey, did that little girl that he was with,
I-
did she get elected?
no, I think something happened. I read about it, but I don't remember now. I don't remember now.
Well, I never could figure out.
She didn't have a driver's license. She didn't have something. Something she didn't have. It wasn't a drive. Don't quote me on that. It was something she didn't
I don't
have.
think she was old enough to drive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why she didn't, but
You know, Vic is
what,
Vic was a smart guy. I think he.
tell me this. Tell
Yeah.
me this. There has been a long, there has been a long history in Topeka, and you might be able to shed some light to me
I'll try.
on why they were against black men owning homes. Do you know that history?
Well, do you know the Green family?
I've heard of it.
I can show you the first house that a black man owned.
Okay.
So yeah, I do know a lot about it
Yeah.
because we're racist.
Okay.
The original
Okay.
Constitution of Kansas had a black law in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandfather did not believe in separate but equal,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why when after Brown versus Board, he made sure that there was change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
You know, the only reason I moved back is because we had a school named after us. I felt this was home. And I told the mayor, I go, you're not going to make me hate Topeka. I won't even hate that fool. I won't.
yeah, well, you shouldn't hate.
No. What you got there?
Expand. You get a lot of them. But yeah, I do appreciate you taking time to talk to me today. I don't want to take up all your time. You spent a good amount of time. You've been honest.
Well, let's see. We were only on an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, hours usually good for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, hey, we're Henry McClure with James Bolden Jr. I'm down here at the Glass Houses studio, just rapping to a friend, man. Just telling it like it is. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you.
All right. Hey, and thanks for tuning in. Here, let's give some applause on the way out the door.